201 million years ago, dinosaurs were marginal players in a landscape dominated by pseudosuchians, massive, heavily armored crocodile ancestors. These creatures filled nearly every major ecological niche on the planet. Then, the Earth's mantle shifted, driving a massive upwelling of magma that split a supercontinent apart. Fissures tore across the crust, flooding the landscape with lava for thousands of years and saturating the atmosphere with sulfur and carbon dioxide. Global temperatures spiked by 15 degrees Celsius. The oceans absorbed so much carbon they turned acidic, dissolving the shells of marine life and erasing 76% of all species on Earth. The giant pseudosuchians vanished, leaving the planet to the small and the marginalized. Early dinosaurs survived because their modest size required less food, and many could burrow underground to escape the temperature swings. When the atmosphere finally cleared, these survivors walked out onto a world entirely devoid of apex competition. To claim this vacuum, dinosaurs had to scale up, but terrestrial physics punishes massive size. A body the size of a building faces immediate structural collapse, suffocation as oxygen demands outpace lung capacity, and starvation from the sheer energy cost of movement. The Jurassic functioned as a high-stakes laboratory where evolution spent 56 million years re-engineering the mechanical limits of terrestrial biology to overcome these barriers. This vintage photograph captures the architectural scale of sauropods like Diplodocus and Brachiosaurus. To reach the height of a 4-story building without being crushed by gravity, these animals utilized a series of radical engineering workarounds. The first hack was respiratory. Instead of lungs that inflate and deflate, sauropods utilized rigid lungs connected to a system of air sacs. This allowed for unidirectional airflow, meaning fresh oxygen moved across their respiratory surfaces continuously with every breath. The second solution was structural. This sauropod vertebra wasn't solid, but a pneumatic structure of air spaces and precise load-bearing struts. This reduced the skeleton to half the weight of solid bone, allowing a 50-ton frame to be supported by pillars of air. The third hurdle was fuel. Plants store energy less densely than meat, and for an animal of this magnitude, the caloric cost of chewing is a mathematical death sentence. Sauropods bypass this by swallowing vegetation whole. They used simple peg-like teeth to strip branches and let internal engines, stomach stones and fermenting gut bacteria, do the slow, low-energy work of breaking down the tough plant matter. By hacking the bottlenecks of breathing, bone density, and digestion, sauropods bypass the limits that restrict other land animals. They became the most successful biological machines to ever walk the Earth. As herbivores grew into giants, predators had to develop new mechanics to bring them down. Jurassic combat became a competition between specialized offensive and defensive systems. The Allosaurus likely utilized a hatchet jaw strategy. By using a reinforced skull and powerful neck muscles, it could drive its upper jaw into prey as a high-velocity impact weapon, slicing through flesh without needing the massive bite force of later carnivores. In response, medium-sized herbivores developed physical countermeasures. The Stegosaurus evolved a massive, barrel-shaped gut and a flexible tail tipped with meter-long spikes, the thagomizer, capable of punching through predator bone. The plates along its back were equally specialized. While they served as visual warnings, they were also packed with blood vessels. By flushing these plates with blood, the Stegosaurus created a radiator system, dissipating heat to prevent its massive core from cooking in the sun. Other lineages, like the ornithopods, abandoned armor for a different strategy: mobility and vigilance. They utilized primitive chewing mechanics for energy efficiency and lived in social herds, using a network of dozens of eyes to detect threats before a predator could even close the distance. Terrestrial life in the Jurassic was a relentless mechanical arms race, where every offensive strike forced a complex defensive adaptation just to stay in the game. This pressure to innovate extended into the water. Plesiosaurus faced the biomechanical challenge of navigating dense water while maintaining a stable platform to strike at agile prey. Their solution was a 4-flipper system of underwater flight. By flapping their massive limbs in synchronized strokes, they achieved a level of maneuverability unmatched by any modern marine animal. In the sky, pterosaurs, masters of first vertebrate flight, by stretching complex muscle membranes across a hyper-elongated fourth finger. For large pterosaurs, launching from the ground required an explosive takeoff. They utilized a pole vault motion, pushing off with all four limbs simultaneously to achieve flight velocity in a single mechanical burst. Whether overcoming gravity on land, drag in the ocean, or the requirements of lift in the sky, Jurassic life always found a radical mechanical workaround. The specific designs of the giant sauropods and plated stegosaurs eventually faded as ecosystems shifted, but the period's most successful experiment was just beginning. Small, warm-blooded theropods began repurposing their insulating feathers for a completely new physical function. Archaeopteryx captures the precise moment a dinosaur engineered powered flight. The fossil reveals a strict mechanical requirement for lift: asymmetrical feathers. The leading edge is narrower than the trailing edge, a specific aerodynamic design allowing a wing to cut air and generate lift. That same physics breakthrough is visible in every sparrow, eagle, and crow alive today. The Jurassic period never truly ended. Its most successful biological machines survived the asteroid, and their extreme physical engineering is still filling the skies right outside our windows.